The education requirements have become, I think, significantly higher in the sense that they are more in line with the type of educational requirements you would expect from a professional designation that's going to be working alongside the accounting profession or legal profession. When I started out, the Appraisal Institute of Canada basically had their own education program in-house. A lot of AACIs would give their time and their knowledge to young candidate students, and the courses would basically be taught weekends or week-long programs on university campus. That's moved forward significantly. I think they still offer those weekend or week-long courses. However, now through the University of British Columbia, I think through the University of Guelph, and through hopefully an expanded offering in universities as a result of the IFRS requirements, I think as an aside, I think this is a great opportunity for universities to actually step up and address the needs of the financial community, where real estate valuation knowledge to not only to people in the accounting profession, because they're going to have to understand what we do, but to open the door and provide university education to people who want to become AACIs and do a BCom with a real estate major. I think now there's tremendous opportunity there, because I've seen over the last 3 or 4 years the quality of the people we've hired through university programs is just made it that much easier to train them and to teach them our systems internally, because they already understand what a cap rate is, or what a discounted cash flow is, or what the direct comparison approach is, you know, how to look at doing time adjustments or market adjustments for size or for location. It allows us to move them forward and get to their creating an internal or a memory bank within their, you know, for them, you know, what a good piece of real estate is and what a bad piece of real estate is, and that only comes through experience and work. But having gotten that base knowledge at a university level and having taken courses obviously expedites the process. When they get to us, we can start working on qualitative aspects of real estate a lot quicker. I expect someone who is competent, someone who has obviously invested their time and their effort in real estate and wants to work hard, someone who is up for a challenge, because real estate, unlike the typical world of finance where you're in accounting, it's some of that is understanding numbers. I think real estate, you have to bring to the table a number of different assets and qualities. You have to be good with numbers, you have to be good with people, you have to be able to find information or connect the dots when it comes to the market. You have to be someone who traditionally, for lack of better examples, is someone who is good with numbers but doesn't want to do audits or you know, balance sheets, or someone who, in the accounting world, or someone from the banking sector who doesn't just want to sit behind a desk all day and deal with loan applications or with files. You get to go out, you get to see real estate, you get to travel, you get to meet people. You're not just behind a desk. It's, you know, I've seen towns in Ontario and in Quebec and in Alberta and in Manitoba I would never have seen if I had not been an appraiser. So it's enriched my life that way, because it's given me a better understanding of how different Canada is, but at the same time how every small town, it's developed around the same principles, and it's the big and the small at the same time. So you get a great sense of you know, the country, and you get to see things, and you get to do a fun job. I think the basic appraisal courses, or the appraisal of the postgraduate certificate course through the UBC, covers a lot of the basic knowledge of appraisal in terms of valuing owner-user properties, valuing income properties. So you understand the value of an asset to an investor, to a user. In certain cases, it could be a combination thereof. So you learn the basic fundamentals of valuation principles. And once we get those students, or those graduate students, or those university graduates in our company, we try to refine those skills. We give them real life examples. There's not just a theoretical valuation models, but there's actual investments that are investment properties that have sold that we've analyzed, and we can then start relating the theoretical with the actual market activity, and it makes it for a better comprehensive analysis, or a more comprehensive development of an employee's growth. Well, I think throughout the curriculum, your analytical skills are being developed, obviously. But I think once you start getting toward the end of the curriculum and you're doing your demo reports, then to a certain extent your writing skills, your communication skills, your comprehension of the market in general, I think those are the type of things that you're tying things together, and those soft skills are what you need when you're dealing with clients. You have to be able to convey market knowledge. You have to be able to deal with people's questions in a frank and honest manner. It's something that I mean, over your career, you become more confident with your knowledge base. You're able to answer and you're able to convey information. But I think at the outset, taking the courses offered through UBC or the Appraisal Institute of Canada, it enables you to understand some of the basic questions that may arise, and how to deal with those questions in terms of the analytics involved, or the communication of certain market values or market situations to a client who may not be happy with your report, or you may be giving them information or knowledge that they may not want to hear. And so I think one of the things that I'm glad is being done now, I think through the interview processes, I think professional integrity is also important. I think being able to sometimes not necessarily stand up to a client or confront a client when it comes to the work that's been done, but I think the ability to act with integrity and act with at the end of the day, you want to not be on the Globe and Mail doing this, I think, is one of the key aspirations for most people, and so you don't want to do things sometimes just to appease a client that in the long run is going to undermine your credibility as a professional. At Altus, once we hire someone and they've passed or they've taken the We Value Canada workshop, and they've taken the standard seminar, they've passed the standard seminar, we put them on a mentoring program. We pair them up with a senior, typically a director in the firm, a senior person, and that senior person then basically takes them through most or all their reports and deals with all their issues in terms of understanding working from the theoretical or the philosophical side of how properties should be valued, and what in real terms and in reality an investor will be looking at, and what are some of the real life issues in terms of the real estate market that the asset is in, and how that asset is valued in either in terms of a user who would buy it or in terms of an investor who would buy it. And I think that it's the role of the mentor to answer questions, to provide insight as to what kind of opportunities there are in the appraisal world for that young person within our company, if they want to change specializations or seek out different professional development. We fortunately have the ability to offer that flexibility. We have a tax appeal and assessment group. We have a cost group, evaluation group. We have Altus Insight and Research. So within those four business silos, we can actually help people develop their career. But in terms of a pure appraisal standpoint, it's just helping a young person come to grasp and come to understand the different principles and theoretical and real life appraisal lessons. Also, in order for the candidate student or the candidate to be able to get credit for their mentoring time and sign reports and log their work experience, I think one of the key things is they have to obviously get through the We Value Canada and the standard seminar, and one of the reasons why is for that purpose, to allow the candidate to sign the reports as well and help with the mentoring process. I think the Altus Group was actually founded based on networking and connecting with peers. I think before we became a publicly traded company, and it's a great example of how people of like minds and like ambitions through the Appraisal Institute of Canada can get in touch with other people in other provinces and expand their work horizons, so to speak, in terms of national portfolio assignments. The Altus Group was basically formed of a number of companies who kept crossing over each other through common clients, and we figured, well, we're already working for these clients. A loose affiliation was created, which was later formalized from a legal standpoint, but that's how these people met. They met through the Appraisal Institute of Canada. They knew of each other. They knew they respected each other's work. And I know moving forward with IFRS coming and the opportunities that that's going to bring, there's going to be significant work for, say, people who live and do a lot of their business in Ontario to connect with people who live and do a lot of their work in Calgary or in Vancouver, in either British Columbia, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, from that standpoint, not just small towns or big towns in those provinces, to do work with each other and connect and take on portfolio assignments, and it helps create a better understanding of the market. When you know people who are working in Alberta and you want to know what's happening in that market because you're looking at an office building here in Toronto that appeals to pension funds, and the last sale of a large office building that appealed to pension funds happened in Alberta, if you can pick up the phone and you can ask, well, who are the guys that were bidding for the property, what were they looking at, how much interest was there, it helps you gain a tremendous amount of insight of not just your local market, but the broader Canadian market. And I think that's important. It's the national scope that staying in touch with people within the Institute and sharing knowledge is critical.